Hi everyone, welcome back to online classes. Today we are going to discuss the second part of your second chapter, physical quantities and measurements. Today in our class we will be discussing what are the conditions for floating and sinking of objects, principle of flotation and the numericals of the chapter. Before starting with today's topic, hope you all have done your homework and copied it to your fair physics copy. Let's begin with floating and sinking of objects. Now, in the previous classes, we have already learned about density of objects. Now, depending upon the density of the object and density of the liquid in which it is going to float or sink, there can be three conditions. Let us see what are those conditions. Now this is the first possible condition, that is when the density of body is greater than density of liquid. Now in this case the body will sink in water. That is, if the density of the body is greater than liquid, the body will sink in water. Now the second condition is that if the density of the body is equal to the density of the liquid. Now in this case the body will just float inside the liquid surface like this. Clear? Now this is the third possible condition, that is whenever the density of the body is less than density of the liquid. So that is the third condition. In this case also the body will float partly submerged when the density of the body is going to be less. Or depending on the three conditions, we can conclude such that whenever the body or the object is having more weight, it will sink in water, and whenever the weight or the density of the body is going to be equal to or less than that of the liquid, it is going to float in water. Now depending on the three conditions, you are having the applications of flotation, that is the flotation, why an iron ship floats in water, or why a man floats in water, or why a man is able to swim more easily in a river water than in a sea water, or why ice is floating on the surface of water, how about the working of submarines, or how icebergs can float in sea water, or the whales can sink or rise in water according to their wish, or hydrogen or helium filled balloon, why they rises in air. So these all applications are based on the three conditions of density, comparing the density of one with the other, whether it will float or sink. So read through these explanations given in your textbook properly, keeping these three main cases on points in your mind. Now let us move on to the principle of flotation. Now before we talk about the principle of flotation, there are some points which you have to keep in mind. The first point is that, see, whenever an object is sinking or floating, there are two cases. That is, there are two cases of forces acting on it. One is the weight of the object which will be acting downward, and the second force is that the buoyant force or the upthrust which the liquid is going to exert back on the object. So now, according to the principle of flotation, the weight of a floating body is equal to weight of the liquid displaced by the submerged part. This is going to be the statement. Now we have already told that there are two forces acting on it. Now what the principle of flotation says is that whatever is the weight of the object that is going to sink in water or in any liquid, whatever is the amount of water displaced when it is being partially submerged, both the weight will be equal, or weight of a floating object will be equal to weight of fluid displaced or equal to the buoyant force. Or in short, you can say that the apparent weight of a floating body is equal to 0. That point is very important. The apparent weight of a floating body is equal to 0. And that is why a floating body appears to have no weight or seems to be weightless. Now this is what all about the principle of flotation. Now with this your chapter is complete, your theory part is complete. Now let us move on to the numericals of your chapter. Now coming to the numericals of your chapter, first question you are having, the density of air is given in gram per liter. You have to express it in gram centimeter cube and kilogram meter raised to minus 3. See, in your question you are having a small mistake. It is gram centimeter raised to minus 3 and kilogram meter raised to minus 3. Please make a note of it. Here in your question you are having a mistake in the unit given, just correct it. Now the first question, to convert it to gram centimeter raised to minus 3, nothing, you just have to divide it with 1000, you will directly get the answer. And to convert it to kilogram meter raised to minus 3, multiply it with 1000, you can convert it to kilogram meter raised to minus 3. That is all about your first question. Now coming to your question number 2, here you are given with the dimension of a hail are 10 meter into 7 meter into 5 meter. See, if the dimensions are given like this, it means that it is in the order of length into breadth into height. This is what it is meant by dimensions given like this. Always it will be length into breadth into height. Now density is also given. You have to find out the mass of air in the hail. Now see, since the length into breadth into height, the dimensions are given, you can find out the volume using the equation length into breadth into height. Now you know that the equation for density is going to be mass upon volume. And now from this equation, mass will be equal to volume into density. Volume you have found out using the given dimensions. Density is given in the question. Just multiply and find the answer. That is all about your question number 2. Now coming to question number 3, the density of aluminum is given. Here also make sure the unit is given wrong. It is gram centimeter raised to minus 3. You have to express it in kilogram meter raised to minus 3. Like your first question, simply you just have to convert it. That is, in this question it is in gram centimeter raised to minus 3. Now you just have to, using the conversion factors, whatever is the value given, you just convert it using the conversion factors. That is, you just have to multiply it with 1000 and divide it by 10. Since, see how you have to convert it. Conversion factors first you have to learn from your textbook, then only go for solving your numericals, else you will not understand. Now coming to your question number 4, density of alcohol is given. You have to express it in gram centimeter raised to minus 3. So like your first question, simply divide it with 1000, you can convert it, right? Now coming to your question number 5, a piece of zinc of mass, that is a mass of zinc is given in gram, volume is given in centimeter cube, so automatically density will come in gram centimeter cube. You just have to calculate the density of zinc. Now mass is given, volume is given, you have to calculate density, direct equation, density is equal to mass upon volume. Now coming to your question number 6, mass of piece of wood is given, volume is given, you have to find the density in CGS unit and SI unit. CGS unit is in gram centimeter raised to minus 3 itself. SI unit will be kilogram per meter cube or kilogram meter raised to minus 3. Now first question, when you find out the answer, directly you will get the answer in CGS unit. Mass is given, volume is given, density with the direct equation you find the answer. You will get the answer in gram per centimeter cube or gram centimeter raised to minus 3, which is none other than your CGS unit. Now gram per centimeter cube or gram centimeter raised to minus 3, to convert it to kilogram meter raised to minus 3, simply you multiply with 1000, you will get the answer. Coming to your question number 7, you have to calculate the volume this time. Mass is given and density of the wood is given. Now here mass is in kilogram and density is given in gram centimeter raised to minus 3. So you convert it into a single unit and then only solve the numericals. Now when you are having volume, you have to find it out. Mass is given in kilogram, density is given in gram per centimeter cube. This gram per centimeter cube, you multiply it with 1000 so that you will get it in kilogram per meter cube, so that the unit will be all same. And then using the equation density is equal to mass upon volume, you will get the equation volume is equal to mass upon density. Substitute the values and find out the answers. Only thing is that when you read the question, make sure all the units are same. If they are of different units, first you convert it to the same unit and then only put it into the equation and solve it, right? Now coming to your question number 8. Here you have to calculate the density where mass is given, initial volume of measuring cylinder is given and final volume of measuring cylinder is given. Now in this case you want to calculate the density. Mass is already given in gram, it is okay. Now the second problem is with your volume. Here you have to calculate the volume using the displacement method which you have already learned, that is the V2 minus V1, that is subtract the two values of volume, you will get the net volume, that is 18 centimeter cube. Now you got the volume by displacement method. Now you have mass, you have volume, and now you can directly calculate density is equal to mass upon volume. Coming to your question number 9, this is a question related to your density bottle. Hope you remember the experiment. Here mass of empty density bottle is given. Now when filled with water, mass is given for your first part of your question, and for the second part of your question, mass of the density bottle when filled with a given liquid is also given. You have to find out the volume of the density bottle and the relative density of the liquid. Now let us start with the first part, that is the volume of the density bottle. Now before starting with the volume of the density bottle, remember always the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cube. It is going to be 1 gram per centimeter cube, that is the density of water. Now you need to find out the mass, isn't it? To find out the mass, you are having the mass of empty density bottle and the mass of bottle when filled with water. Now when you subtract these two values like you have done in the experiment, you will get the mass of water completely, that is a mass of water alone. Now you are having mass, you are having the value of density. Now from the equation density is equal to mass by volume, you can have the equation volume is equal to mass by density. Now mass you have already calculated, it as 20. Now density of water is going to be 1, therefore volume will be equal to 20 ml, clear, or 20 centimeter cube. So that is all about your first part. Now for your second part, it is to find out the relative density of the liquid. You have to find out the relative density of the liquid. For finding the relative density of the liquid, the data is given is like this, that is the mass of empty bottle is given, when filled with liquid is also given. The same way you find out the mass of the liquid alone, that is 40.6 minus your empty mass, that is 21.8 gram. You will get the mass of your given liquid. Now equation for density of relative density is that mass of the liquid to mass of water. Now mass of water you have already calculated as 20, and your mass of your liquid you have calculated it as 18.8. Just divide the values, take the ratio, you will get the answer. Now here it is written without unit because relative density is a unitless dimension, right? Similarly you have your question number 10 also. Here again you have to find out the density and also the relative density of brine solution, where you are given with mass of empty bottle, mass of bottle and water is given, mass of bottle and brine solution is given. Now if you want to find the mass of water, subtract these two values, and if you want to find out the mass of brine solution, subtract these two values, that is 54 and empty bottle 22 masses, you will get the mass of brine solution. Now you are asked to calculate the density of brine solution, that is using the direct equation you can calculate it, clear? Now your last question, 11th question, is also a similar one to that. You can do it as a homework. If you are having any doubt, you can go through the given procedure given here. The answer is already here, similar to your density bottle. 2 questions is being solved in the similar manner. You will find out the question number 11. This is a homework for you, clear? Now with this your second chapter is over. Now for your homework, complete the question answers of that chapter completely, and then one question numerical also I have given, question number 11, complete it in your fair copy. With this we are winding up today's portion. Thank you. Stay safe.